Hello, Sarah Divinely You here. Welcome back. This is Astrology and Energy for this week of January 9th through the 15th. I have a couple of things I want to focus on for this week that I feel like are important, but energetically, we may feel like we are at a complete standstill. Um, it's because we have Mars about to station direct and Mercury behind it stationing next week, and then finally Uranus will station the following week. So it's very slow. However, it's a seed planting time. So we may have over the last couple of months. So Mars has been retrograde since October 31st. So it may feel like there's been a lot of realizations, maybe some truths have come out for you. Maybe you've changed, you've shifted some things for yourself mentally, physically, in your environment. But this has been a lot of mental work. This has been a lot of mind muckery type of work that we've kind of been going through. So this first week of the year felt very slow. This week, the 9th through the 15th, will feel no different. I feel like it's going to be very slow because Mars, yes, it's going to station direct, but I feel like things aren't going to make really big shifts until Mercury turns direct. Um, so, and then we have Venus in Aquarius that's going to square the nodes, the north and the south node, on the 10th. So Tuesday, it's going to square the nodes. Lilith, asteroid Lilith, will also be in that mix. And so I feel like because we're with a lot of build up energy still, that's why things seem so slow, because we're in a slow moment. So because Lilith is there, because of the South Node in Scorpio, Venus is the ruler of the North Node in Taurus. It's almost like a checkpoint. It's also a final release point. So if you feel like from this Cancer full moon, which was on Friday, the 6th, if you have felt like you've been purging mentally, physically, maybe you've like said, no, I'm done with that thing, done with that relationship, done with that way of being, done with that mindset from that Cancer full moon. Now it's going to be tomorrow, Tuesday the 10th, will be this final release point of like, I am not going to feel that way anymore. That's the seeds you're planting prior to these planets going direct. So so this week will feel just insanely slow because Mars is just not even moving. It's at its degree where it will go direct, so it's not going to move any more degrees. And it will take a while for Mars to get going again. Remember, it does not come out of its retrograde shadow until early March, and it doesn't leave Gemini until the 20th, I think, of March. Maybe it's the 22nd of March. Either way, it doesn't make much movement it's not going to make much movement quickly until March. Mercury, however, when it goes direct, it'll start moving a lot faster. So I feel like that's when things will start really get going. However, it all comes back to this Jupiter and Aries point for me, because Jupiter in Aries is an initiation point, because Aries is a cardinal sign, it's the beginning of the zodiac. Jupiter in Aries is, and with all this mental energy at a standstill, it's like, are you sure? Are you sure that the seeds you have planted or what you're wanting to cultivate is really what you want? If you signed contracts, if you made major decisions during Mars retrograde, those may come to a complete halt, because we had so much mental shifting during the last couple of months that it's been retrograde, that, and with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, that you're probably not even going to feel the same once it starts all moving forward. And so it that's why I kept suggesting like it's not a good time to make big decisions about things that are new. So, you know, we may see relationships that started in the last couple of months just completely fall apart. You may see a job completely fall apart. However, if you were using good conscious discernment, really digging into journaling and processing and making good solid choices, you might be okay. Um, and I'm not saying these things will fall apart. They may just hit some super rocky roads and super, you know, challenging energy as things start moving forward. Um, Tuesday with the Venus square the nodes, Lilith is in there. It's not going to make an exact square, but it's in the fixed energy of Leo, with the nodes in North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, and Venus in Aquarius. Those will be in a square. However, Lilith won't be in an exact square with them, but it's in that neighborhood. It's in that same space. So we've got a fixed amount of energy going on. And Scorpio is detachment. Scorpio is merging. Scorpio is fixed water. So we may feel like some final moments of letting things go, or letting, you know, saying no to the last bit of things, purging. You may feel emotional because it's Venus, because it's self-worth, because it's Scorpio, which means it's Scorpio can be a very, while it's not an earth sign, it may affect you physically. Just because the purging process is physical. So you process things mentally and emotionally, and then you have that final purge moment physically where you really release it out of your physical, your energy, your physical feel, your aura, all of those things. So that is like the final release point of like, I'm absolutely done with that thing. And you're preparing for the planets to go direct. You're in that final peak of the mountain, right? I've talked about Mount Kilimanjaro before, and this is almost that final climb, as we inch towards inch towards Aquarius season. Wow, I'm really stuck on Scorpio. But we inch towards Aquarius season, so we're in that final oomph of Capricorn season as these planets start moving forward. So next week I feel like is going to be a lot of change. So this week is that final opportunity to really make sure, really ask questions. Are you sure this is what you want? Are we sure this is the direction we want to take 2023 and beyond? Because there's going to be a lot of big movement energy after this moment, this process is over. So we have the Venus square the nodes with Lilith in the mix on Tuesday the 10th. Mars stations direct on the 12th. It doesn't look like a very big moment. There's not a lot of other major aspects going on that day. There obviously will be just some energetic shift as the planet goes direct, but like I said, it's still going to be slow for quite some time. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for this week. It feels like a very slow week. It really does. And it feels like an invitation to take advantage of that. So if you're pushing yourself too hard right now, if you're really feeling like you got to get going on things, you might be overdoing it and you may feel fatigued from it. You may feel exhausted from it. So it's actually going to be almost at a disservice for us to try to move forward right now because it's not time yet. I would say definitely journaling this week is a good idea. Really, really like word dump or word vomit everything that you're feeling. Everything. Does this really feel good? Does this really make me happy? Is this really the direction I want to go? Again, this is all these just questions that are coming up as these planets prepare to go direct. So I did pull some tarot for this week. And we got the Seven of Pentacles upright. So she's enjoying her harvest. You know, she's sitting on top of the tree. Oh, lighting. Gosh, really gotta work on that. Okay. She's enjoying her harvest. She's sitting on top of the tree. She's holding the apple with 7 seeds. She's planted the seeds. She's harvested the seeds, and now she's kind of enjoying the fruits of her labor. So it's kind of like that moment of like, just appreciate where you are. You know, in fact, celebrate the fact that you've gotten this far, right? We've had a really traumatic and really upsetting last 3 years, and we're getting ready to catapult in a whole new direction with Jupiter and Aries, with Pluto and Saturn about to make their moves in less than 2 months. Well, I guess just over 2 months. And so a lot of just appreciate the moment, really be present in the moment, and enjoy and appreciate that you've made it this far, that you have done a lot of inner work, that there has been a lot of transformation, and there's going to continue to be, but you get to celebrate the progress that you've made thus far. We also got the Knight of Cups. So again, just like in the moment, feeling into the creativity, feeling into the emotions, noticing the beauty of it all. Cups is emotions, it's water. So again, appreciating that you've gained some emotional intelligence, appreciating and acknowledging yourself for the emotions that you've allowed to process through and release. Maybe it's been some guilt, some shame, some anger, and you've allowed those to come through. And so now you get to kind of have this moment of appreciating it. And then we have the King of Wands, the King of Fire. And this is, excuse me, throat chakra. King of Fire, the King of Wands with the leadership role, the visionary role. Again, this is preparation time, right? This is that moment of like, what are you really preparing yourself for? Are you creating a vision? Maybe this is the week to actually do the vision board, to actually set the intentions for 2023. Where do you want to be? Are you the leader of your life? Are you the leader that others are looking for? Are you creating the vision to bring people in to your life that really align with or want to work with you to manifest this next 12 years, right? We've got Jupiter at the beginning of his cycle. Jupiter's cycle is 12 years. Yes, we've got some other cycles that'll be different than that, but Jupiter really can set the tone. I have been thinking about ER for the last week, and that whole moment where Morgenstern on episode 1 tells Dr. Green he sets the tone. Mark Green as the leader sets the tone. When Mark Green leaves in season 8, he tells Carter, you set the tone. Carter has no clue what he meant, but the message is still the same. When Carter leaves, I think it was season 12 when Carter left, season 11 maybe, he says the same thing to Archie Morris. You set the tone. You, as the leader, sets the tone for your life. And as Jupiter is in this initiating spot of Aries, and we've got this slow motion energy, you are setting the tone. You get to appreciate the work that you've done. You get to acknowledge yourself, appreciate yourself, give gratitude to yourself for all of the things that you've harvested, that you have shifted in your mindset, in your emotional intelligence, in your physical being, in your physical environment, all the changes that you've made. You get to set the tone now to share with others what that leadership role, what that vision is that you have for your life. And you get to share it by showing it, right? Being in integrity, being authentic, really diving in with who you want the world to see you as. And so that's what I have for you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I did drop the link in the description below to the Breakup with Your Victimhood episode that I recorded with Hearts Unleashed podcast, hosted by Abigail Gazda. So you can still take a listen to that. You can share it, all of the things, and I appreciate you listening to it. As of the 1st of January, I was at number 9 on the top 20 countdown, and I have, so I can still make some progress until the 1st of February to get to that number 1 spot. So break up with your victimhood, take ownership, take responsibility for your life, for yourself, for your environment. You are the creator. You set the tone for how your life goes. I hope this was helpful. I appreciate you. I appreciate you following me on Instagram for the 365 days of lives that I'm doing in 2023. Just bringing a lot of body work and spiritual guidance and even some silliness. I did some silliness this weekend. Having a little fun with what I am up to this year and kind of just really easing into the year and preparing for the planets to go direct in the next couple of weeks. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. I'm sending you a lot of love and gratitude. Have a great week.